is Michio Kaku, and this is my testimony about the future.
The supercar. That's
It's closer than you think.
The car is the next place to be totally revolutionized.